Hello, good day, good night, and welcome to our first official Realz Tennis podcast of 2017. Oh my God, ladies, we are back. We are back. We are back with a vengeance. Back with Federer. I'm telling you. Unfortunately, we couldn't take a 6-month break like Roger, but you know what? Hey,
we took a little one.
like Roger. But
did you bitches miss us?
And this is our 75th podcast, ladies.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
You got that number right? You got that number right?
I got that number right. I'm not even counting the specials.
Dang.
And no, this is like the 75th official podcast, and I need to go back because I spelled podcast and not podcast. You know, I'm fired. None of you people would see that. When you check it out, it will be podcast. But anyway, before I go any further, let me welcome my hostesses with the mostesses. We have Andrine from Solely Tennis Travel.
Hello.
And as always, we have Lava and Kato Kalen of Podcast. We have Janina from Foreign, Ohio.
What up, yo?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's been so long. I don't even know if I'm pressing the right buttons at times. So,
It really hasn't been that long.
I know it hasn't, but you know, it's a miss, kids. You know what? Like, you know, as much as I've been like, oh, give me no podcast, and I have my son this to myself. I don't know what the fun is. I just don't know. I don't think I did anything productive. You know what? I'm glad to be back in your lovely ladies' bosoms for us to be discussing what we love.
Did that just happen? It did, didn't it?
It did happen. It did happen. Oh,
well,
and
that's one thing we have. You know, we have that going for
the
us.
New listeners. For the new listeners, you know, this is Realz, you know. And I just want to say a special welcome to all our fans out there, all our secret admirers who listen to us. Just want to say thank you for listening. We enjoy reading our shit in your blogs and your papers and on your tweets. We do enjoy that. And as always, our fans who are traveling all around the world, we wish you safe travels as you go to tennis events and hang out with your families and meet new friends. You know, ladies, I was thinking about starting off with a prayer to the tennis gods.
What?
You know, to the tennis gods, you know what? But you know what?
What are we praying for?
Well, there's so many things we can pray for.
Leave the praying aside.
Uh-oh. Andrina's calling bullshit on that one.
Andrine, you don't believe there's a higher power in tennis, don't you? Some tennis gods who meets out justice, who try to bring balance. Don't you think so?
I don't believe so, because my tennis gods does not care whether you're Tommy Haas or Yakutim Service. Your ass is going to be playing qualies. So that's how my tennis.
Are we gonna start there? Are we gonna start there?
Hey, we can start wherever. We can dump. We got so much, man. So
okay, you know what? Yes.
Do you want to start? Let's start with the real tennis, and then because it feels like there was actually less tennis happening than all the controversies. So
true.
Maybe we start with the tennis and then catch everyone else up on the news and happenings.
Yeah,
on the various tours.
True. In our podcast, tennis is not really that important, right? It's tennis.
It's the gossip.
And seeing it. Tennis was invented in 2011. Ain't not much shit you could be talking about anyway, you know? 2017.
Shade.
Let's show of hands or with a tweet or beep. Tweet.
I did. I'm so proud of myself, but I only watched edits. Listen, I don't know. Janina, I feel like Janina.
Is your mic working, Janina?
Yes, I'm here. I feel like I don't know what's going on, but I'm here.
He asked you a question.
Did you watch tennis? I missed that.
Yes, pay attention.
Yes. I have watched tennis. I have been accused of not watching tennis. I have been told that maybe I shouldn't be taken seriously as a podcaster because I don't watch enough tennis. But you know who you are, and I know that you will be listening. And I'm gonna tell you, fuck you. I watch plenty of tennis. So yes, I've been watching tennis.
But I will tell you though that I'm going to be maybe you've been accused of that, but I'm going to approach tennis the way I think a thoughtful, normal person should, which is not the person who rolls up and has their computer on 24/7. That's not normal. I'm going to talk about it like an adult that has a job and needs to have tennis happening in and around my life where I enjoy it. So
listen, because this is a difficult time of the year, isn't it?
Yes, it's a difficult time of the year, but I'm not a streamer. So I believe in having a TV.
Wait. You bitches will not be coming for the streamers. You will not be coming for the streamers. You just won't be. Not on my watch.
I'm coming for you, streamer.
I'm coming for you, nerdy streamers. Let me tell you right now.
No.
If you guys want to like, you know, deal with tennis fandom as, you know, you are a really great fan if you can figure out where a tennis match is playing at East Bumblefucking. I'm not that person.
Realz.
So I'm gonna let you know I'm not that person. I want to turn on my TV.
I can watch you playing Challenge in Canberra, and he just won his match. Okay, can't do that on ESPN. Y'all can't do that on being.
Listen,
whatever the fuck. Yeah,
we're grown folks. We are grown folks trying to watch a sport that is too wealthy for its own good. So we should not have to be scrounging up on streams and like interconnecting your wires and getting online trying to ask people where things are.
It's almost gonna become like a quest for the Holy Grail. It's gonna be trying to find tennis on a proper television screen.
2017.
I mean, I don't understand this.
That aside, I will say that because of the tennis tournament arrangement that I've just now made that allows me to watch tennis on my TV, I'm about halfway on my way to becoming a WTA expert because that's what I'm going to be seeing. I know everyone else is upset. Everyone else is upset about the WTA coverage, but I have beIN Sports, and that's the only thing that I can watch tennis on right now. So I'm catching the WTA matches. I will say I caught a lot of WTA this week.
There are no ATP matches on beIN?
No.
Oh, so okay.
Not on, I mean, maybe beIN in Europe, but beIN in the USA side, I'm only catching WTA. Okay. So I have beIN Sports for WTA, and I have Tennis TV for ATP. But that means that I'm gonna have to pop up my computer, and you know how I feel about watching tennis on a computer. I'm not. It's primitive.
You figure out a way in which you can stream your stuff from your computer to your TV. There's a way of doing that.
Oh, you know what? There is, but only for Apple TVs, y'all.
That's not true. You just need an HDMI cord.
They said that you will be able to do that more this year through a legitimate means, but for the most part, right now, legitimately, the connection that Tennis TV has is through Apple. I'm sure there's probably a way I can jimmy it. I'm sure I can jimmy it, but
I'm sure that someone, one of our fans, is going to reach out to you to tell you there's a way in which you can stream what's happening on your computer to your television screen. There's a way in which you can do that.
You can do that.
Don't ask me.
I'm sure there is, and I've seen Tennis TV say that they are going to legitimately allow you to do it.
No. This has nothing to do with Tennis TV.
But that's what I'm saying. I know you can do everything. You can always stream what's on your computer on your TV screen.
No. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about, there are ways in which you can make what's on as well as on your phone, just by an app. It's not something that Tennis TV needs to control. It's just. But I know. But what
I'm just letting you know.
She's telling you she's not doing that.
No, and also, I'm not doing that. That's 2 extra steps. But what I'm also letting you know is Tennis TV has proposed that it's going to make that possible in 2017 for like the audience of tennis who's like 60 plus, because everybody forgets that that's actually who plays for tennis. So I know we are all young fans online, and we're all like, ooh, but really the tennis market, if you look at what they're advertising, it's not 20-year-olds.
Well, we skipped to something else when,
But yes, we've all watched some live. We've watched some live.
I've been very fortunate. I live in all these streams. I enjoy my stream. Pray God forbid that they do something to block that from happening. oh, someone will be murdered on that uneventful day.
You will find yourself on the murder porn station
I
that you
would
watch
definitely find-
faithfully.
I don't be like tennis murderer.
Listen, hold on.
But,
I know that people. Wait a second. I know that people feel like they don't really know you, right? That you're just this weird person on the Realz Tennis Fans podcast. I want everybody to know that Realz is a junkie when it comes to real true crime TV. So there you have a personal fact, and he likes to call it murder porn.
I mean, unfortunately, that's all true. But Janina,
that's all the tea.
I'm not sure if Pet Hugh is ready for that sort of like truth yet. I have to save that until after the marriage. Okay. After the marriage.
Sorry.
So I've been streaming for a very long time. I cannot complain. It allows me. I love streaming, not just because I get to see it, but I can watch multiple matches at the same time.
Because you're one of those.
It's just really hard. It's really difficult, and I don't have to. One of the reasons why I decided for streaming is that I couldn't stand ESPN coverage anymore. They're chattering, they're talking, and then they decide what matches I should watch. And plus I'm seeing the match delayed and late. Like I just can't deal with that. This happens too often for us to be watching delayed coverage all the fucking time. No bullshit.
Okay.
But anyway, was that?
Nothing.
Okay. So we have an agenda, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna try to get to the agenda. But the first thing we're gonna deal with, as we proposed, is the results. So inside, I believe there was Brisbane and Hartman Cup. Am I correct?
I didn't see a single shot of Chennai, so you're gonna have to tell me about it.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, I did watch that. My God, am I crazy?
Yes.
I did watch.
Yes, that's why we have you on this podcast. So tell us about
it. So as I think I tweeted out, so Stanley left Chennai. His
holding the bag.
Holding the bag, thinking, I'm gonna be collecting some Brisbane, and because usually the big guys besides Roger, they usually go to Doha. Well, Roger used to go to Doha, and you figure, I'll let my boy Benoit pick up Chennai, and get started off his 2017 with a legit title. Well, RBA was like, fuck no, we're not having any of that shit up in here, okay? His ass beat by Batista Agut, who doesn't play clinical tennis. Played really well. The Russian guy who was in the final, actually, he might be something. I think his name is Daniil Medvedev. I think it is.
They're calling him a next gen already.
Oh, really? How old is he?
I'm gonna go that far. He's like 20, I think. He's pretty young. He played some solid ball. He's definitely aggressive, but then his RBA, okay, you don't have to feel intimidated if it's RBA. So he played. He looked like a solid player.
Ooh, he's tall. 6'6".
Yeah, he's tall, and he moves he moves very well. It didn't appear to be someone 6'6", like John Isner. This looked like, oh my God, I gotta move for that ball. Oh, Jesus Christ. But he moves very well, very aggressive, hits a hard flat ball, I think. Played a couple loose game. I think experience is the main factor that made him lose that match. RB was just a little bit more smart, a little bit much know how to move the ball around better. And, you don't always need to be on the baseline slugging it out. It was a pretty good match. I think the crowd felt they got their money's worth. And RB opened his season with a title in Chennai, 250 points.
Well, good for him. Did he play anybody worth talking about to make him think
girl who went to India? Who's going to India?
Yeah, okay. Point taken.
December and his money, and then nobody's going to India anymore, right? Because that bus, right? that PPTL, whatever that thing was called, that went belly up.
Oh yeah, they couldn't pay anybody. We're not there yet.
Chennai is all they're gonna get from now on. It was a pretty solid match, I think. So, congrats to RBA for getting your opening 2017 with a title. Who knows? They might be lucky for you. You might be winning a major like Stanley. Just saying.
Oh, but you know what I mean? That's like a good title for RBA. Wasn't he the top seed?
hold on.
Yeah, theoretically, he should have been the top seed there. If his ranking holds up, I think I think he was the top seed. So that was like to be expected, really.
No, actually, it was the second seed.
Who was the top seed?
I don't remember.
Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
I don't care enough because I didn't watch Chennai. But I mean, and you know what? To be honest, I don't know if I could have found Chennai. So there you go. On my various technologies.
You are foul for that. Oh, Chennai was the top seed.
Oh yeah, he went out very early. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he lost in the second round to a qualifier.
Jay Kuvalek, and he was from. This flag hold like he's probably from Serbia or Slovakia. So hey,
yeah, whatever.
Bless Chillage.
So what else happened in the tennis world? In the actual tennis, we had
Brisbane.
Okay, so Grigor won. And now people are like, he's back. You know what? He had some quality wins. I'll give him that. But you know what I thought? I did watch a little bit of Grigor last night. I think it was
versus K.
Yes,
that was a good 3-7. By the scoreline.
I'll tell you what, he looks so skinny to me. I feel like he's lost weight, and he didn't have any to lose.
Maybe he's doing the Roddick plan. You remember the Roddick plan? I'm thinking more like the Nole plan. The gluten-free plan?
Something. He looks really skinny.
I think perhaps he probably lose weight in order to increase flexibility.
He wasn't big. He's so thin anyways.
Well, hey.
I mean, this is the important stuff that I noticed, not the tennis. Like, he was just skinny.
He's been working hard in the off season, allegedly. So perhaps, he needs to regulate the training, and figure out how to, before you build back up somewhere, maybe he's going to add on the pounds and the muscle slowly. Just get rid of the baby fat, whatever. But you know what I've noticed? Grigor is ugly. When he came on, he was so good looking and so fresh.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that's
beautiful. And I mean, like,
first and foremost, there was never a point in time when Grigor was beautiful. Stop yourself.
He looked he was on my top 6 one time.
He looked like a child the whole time.
Thank you. Just so he wasn't floating your boat, Miss Shadi. Just so he wasn't floating your boat, Miss Shadi. Okay. But I'm just saying.
I know.
I get it. He can really get it. I mean, I don't want to say, I'm gonna say this. I just gotta say this. I don't know if it's because that Maria episode where he just went downhill, but he just kind of like he looked like that.
Anyways, he
looks like that guy from high school who used to be really hot, and then when he left high school, turned into a slob and just drank. It happens
sometimes. They just don't grow up to be as beautiful as they were supposed to.
Yeah, that is true.
So he beat
Grigor, get your life together.
Milosh and Key. So Key, whatever.
I have to say, I think the one that's most impressive about that is probably Key. K is probably the best results for that matchup because you would pick Milosh, actually. You would pick K in that matchup.
Actually, K, he had never beaten K before.
So
which is interesting.
I mean,
once in high school before.
And Kay loves playing in Asia. I mean, in Pan Asia.
Right.
We call Australia Pan Asia. And he feels really comfortable there. Like, you know what I mean? And
there's a lot of people in the audience that look like him.
And also he's just well received there. So I would have expected Kay to go in there feeling pretty confident about taking that title. So that's really good for her.
To me, watching the match, it was like, so they started off and they were even 2 games all.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone decided, fuck it, I'm not interested in this set anymore. And boom, then the other set. So Grigor did that in set 1 and in set 2. In the third set, they were both playing solid. But what I noticed that Grigor wasn't making those reckless as he used to last year, like the year before, losing to Rajiv Ram. Solid and consistent. There was a clarity in what he wanted to do out there.
Yeah.
And he was constructing the point really well. And K, as K's wanted to do, he didn't call for injury timeout. He just went on a mental breakdown and just decided, fuck it. I'm gonna spray the ball all over the place. I'm just gonna go hit long, hit wide. Just not know the fuck I'm doing out here, and just engaging in a rally for no goddamn reason.
Well, that's K's habit, right? He always feels like he can beat you in the rally. So he'll take his chances and you'll be like, it's gone on too long now. You should end it.
Exactly. And then the shot he decides to come in on.
Yeah.
And then Grigor just like, thank you very much, And that's the thing, Grigor is very solid. So whereas in the past you could probably push Grigor back, in this, he was standing toe to toe with you. So I think that was much more impressive with someone like Milos, who can push you off the court with that size and that strength. But K just fucked up, and I think the luck of the draw is that K was serving second in the third set. So being broken allowed Grigor to serve for the set, and then K was just like, what, holds myself, with that crucial night game, and he just got broken and Grigor was happy for the win. He was emotional. He felt like he didn't shape.
Because he's had like a bad 2 years. I mean, really, he's fallen off the map. I mean, after beating Murray at Wimbledon that 2 years ago, I guess it was, he looked like he was on the upswing. And then he just sort of disappeared and started wandering in the desert. So, I mean, this has got to feel really good. I mean, the thing for me about the tour and how any of the other people are going to do is it all depends on how the young guys respond, right? So if you have somebody like a Grigor finally kind of settling into his own, then it makes it really problematic for like old faves, like a Fed or even like a Rafa for some people. That's probably, this Grigor is kind of like he's someone you can count on to potentially go away. But if he doesn't start to go away anymore, things can get complex.
I'm ready for him to stay.
Well, I mean,
I feel like we've been waiting for a long time.
One for me is the fact that that is supposed to be the next generation of players, right? Dominic Thiem, K, Grigor, and Milos. They're supposed to be the ones who're supposed to inherit and take over. So
the only one that was consistently doing that was Milos.
Right. I think Milos had his big win against Rafa and felt, I'm not really interested in anything else here,
No, I don't. That's not a Milos. Milos is not about getting a big win. Milos is about titles. There's some people you can accuse of that, but Milos to me is definitely somebody who takes this shit serious.
Did you watch the Wimbledon final? Did you watch the Wimbledon final?
But you know what? If you're a good returner like Andy Murray is, you can handle a Milos. Because Federer has handled Milos in the past similarly. He didn't do it this time around. So I'm not surprised when I don't think that Milos went into that final and didn't want to win it. That's not the kind of person.
And we have to remember that was just a Grand Slam final. It's a whole new ballgame when you get there.
Yeah, and I think, and listen, who did Milos struggle to beat for quite a few years? Federer. And he finally was able to get those wins and feel pretty comfortable about that. Now I think his next step is to be like the Novaks and Murray, and Rafa, he's always played Rafa hard. I will say that. Milos is, in Canada, he almost beat him. So I think that Milos feels really comfortable against those two old guys. Now with Murray,
that's what I'm hoping to see this year. Like what Milos said.
That's what he needs to do. Yeah, right. Fuck if you really want to do it, if he really wants to do it, he's gonna have to beat those two.
Well, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a tall order, Milos. You might need some help.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, he might need some help, but honestly, as much as I love my old faves, I am totally ready to sit back and watch the young guys do something. I'm ready for it. So, if this title puts Grigor, if this propels him in some way, I am ready for it. I'm excited to see it.
Well, it looks like the title and also his coach. I mean, I didn't think he picked a great coach. He picked like that.
Who's his coach?
That buddy coach. The guy. I think it was a coach that used to work with Andy Murray.
I have no idea who his coach
was. No, yeah, it was the guy that used to work with Burditch. The young Danny. Yeah, and so
that's right.
Danny,
okay,
Danny.
I've never really put much stock in Danny. partially because I've always thought there were so many other people around, and he did nothing for Berdych, absolutely nothing for Berdych's game. So, but it seems like
I would have to say that, I imagine that half of the time when Danny was trying to teach Berdych something, he just sit in and grow and be like, "Why the fuck Lendl didn't pick me? And why the fuck Lendl didn't pick me? Why the fuck Lendl didn't pick me?" So and I think Berdych tried to hire Danny, thinking he could get some Berdych, some Ivan Lendl-ish. But yeah, let's be honest now. Yeah, I think Berdych.
What does that mean? Wait. What do you mean? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Like by association, Danny hang around with Ivan Lendl, and he's hoping that maybe Danny.
Oh, what?
Yeah, exactly. By association.
Like coaching by osmosis. Like,
oh Jesus! You know what? I am
something like that. And plus,
you know what?
Yeah,
we're rejecting. No. We're rejecting that. Yeah, we're rejecting that one outright. That doesn't make no sense.
First of all, Berdych. Okay, he's not too smart. Okay,
no, he's not.
Janina, you got personal experience with Berdych.
I know, I do. He's not smart.
I am not just pulling this out of my asshole about this situation. Secondly,
it's a good thing he's so cute and can hit a tennis ball. I'll tell you that.
Y'all know Berdych is very he doesn't see any kind of person you can explain tennis too. Like he's just like see ball, hit ball, that's it.
Oh my God.
Roger Federer, I'm gonna try the most if it's Roger across the net. That's how Berdych operates. I'm just comfortable being in the top 10, top 5. I make the World Tour final every now and again.
We're going through results. We're going through
results. But, I'm just saying. But you know what? I hope this isn't just. Like
a fluke week for Grigor. But you know what? Right. Grigor has had some good encounters in Australia in the past. Remember, I think a couple years ago when he was
he made the quarters.
And when he was having that moment, when he was having that upswing, he lost a very was it a tough match to Rafa?
Tough match against Rafa. Yes,
yeah. So maybe but you know what? My feeling right now. Well, no. Luckily, they can't face each other, right? Because Fed and Grigor are back to back. They're right next to each other right now. Grigor is 16 and Fed is 17 right now. So
okay.
I think Grigor is 17.
No, Federer is 17.
Yeah, Federer is 17.
On Monday.
Yeah, because of the title. Yeah. So
yesterday, so Grigor was 17.
Well, I just want to avoid the transition because that's what that will be.
Oh yeah.
Now baby Fed to old Fed.
Oh yes.
Back. I don't want that storyline.
Look, Grigor is. But he can't be Federer good yet. From what I saw.
No. I think he could. If Federer is as rusty as he probably is, I think he could at this juncture.
All right.
Look, I have some faith in Federer, and it's not gonna be that. But let us not forget. And plus Federer, we just gotta have some standards, okay? And the standard is we're not letting Grigor beating us. Oh, I can't stand the Fed press line. I just can't stand that bullshit.
Doha. Everyone loved Doha. Everyone thought Doha was the best match they had seen in Doha.
Wait.
For the last 20 years that it's been.
So
there.
we're gonna pretend
that was the fight. That's what I heard.
Didn't get his ass beat by Milos. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
No, we're not gonna pretend that didn't happen.
No, what are you talking about? We're talking about Doha.
But wait, first and foremost, another person who was absent has been Rafael Nadal, aka Divadal, and Divadal is back.
Oh, you want to talk about his results? I was curious. It seemed to me that Rafa was back to a sort of fearsome form in the first 3 rounds.
This is the same conversation Realz and I had.
Girl, I'm telling you.
I was about to say that Rafa went home and got magic dust because he seemed like he was back.
I had a moment.
Then he wasn't.
I had a moment where I was just like, I need to watch my clock. I need someone to bring a calendar for me because I don't know what time it is. Are we in 2010, 2013? Because this is on fucking fire.
Good.
That full hand was just like anything in any way that full hand wanted to go. It was going.
But then what happened? I didn't get to see that match. So, you were telling me, you were like, he looked so good. And I was like, Rafa's back. He's really back this time. And then you were like, oh no.
you know what I remember watching a couple of the first 2 matches? I remember Janina last year at this precise moment being like, you know what? I'm predicting Rafa's winning everything. He's winning everything. He's winning the Olympics. Rafa's getting everything.
Why you gotta bring up?
I was like, oh my God, Janina was right. Just like a year late. Like she just got it wrong for the year.
Well, you know, the thing about Rafa is this, right? At least Rafa of late, is that Rafa is like that car that looks really, really good when you're about to drive it off the lot, right? Like it's like, yeah, no, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like it's good. You're like, this is so cute. Everybody's looking, everybody's snapping pictures, and then you try to take that shit up the hill. You know what I mean? Because I remember if I remember correctly, this was the exact same thing I heard whispered at the French Open last year, because Rafa looked imperious at the French Open the first couple rounds. Next thing I know, press conference, withdrawing. I got wrist issues. I've been in pain for years. Do you know what I mean? So, like that right? He got through straight sets. People were like, I think old Rafa's back. They were looking forward to like, you know, a battle royale with Novak Djokovic, because you know your Roland Garros title doesn't mean anything unless you snatch it from Rafa or something. Right. So you know, that was
which no one has ever really done. Really, exactly. You don't beat Rafa and then win.
Listen, this is the magic of Rafa, right? At Roland Garros, you can't snatch that. But so the thing about Rafa to me is it's always that question. You know, the question of whether he can last over time. Like, you know, you could find him really impressive, but then with a lot more resistance, which it seems more and more people are comfortable delivering to Rafa.
Right.
Suddenly his game starts falling apart a little bit. He starts hitting balls short. So, you know, the question is, like, you know, if you're
which is like that what happened with Milos, because Zverev, I was just like, Zverev, you might start thinking about throwing the racket across the net because shit,
he seems to know everything, right? Anticipate everything.
He just seems like everything. Yeah. And Zverev is a lefty, so you know it's gonna be some sort of like.
But Rafa loves playing other lefties.
But I mean, it's just like at first I just like Zverev. Do you know how to play tennis? Do you know what it's supposed to do? I mean, like it was just like, I mean, like it was always like it was like Zverev was DNC and Russian. He had hacked it. I know everything you're gonna do, motherfucker. Boom! I got you. I got you. And in the first set against Milos, I was just like, "Ooh, good Jesus, Milos, girl, no Brisbane title for you this year. You're gonna be going out in the quarters. Bye, bitch." And then Milos was just like, "I'm not having any of this. This is not happening. Oh, so this is the best you can do? All right, then." I'll show you what I can do now.
How did he turn it around? How did he turn that around?
Well, start being much more taking the baseline.
Really? Again, from Rafa?
Which was I was just like, maybe I need to check my eyesight because this is not right. Rafa was behind the baseline scrambling.
Which is his habit at times, but that can work for him often.
The thing about it, just like that forehand was going off. Even Rafa was looking at his hand like, "What the fuck is this forehand was looking like a two-hand. It was doing shit out there. The serve was a mess,
it has been.
It was almost like which was funny because it was like like I said, 2011 and 2010 and 2013, Rafa showed up for the first 2 rounds and a half. And then all of a sudden, 2016, Rafa was back on court. Who was unsure of himself, who was frustrated, and the hair.
Oh,
black there.
Okay, can I tell you about this? So yes. I'm in an Uber. I'm in a Lyft ride, and my driver admits that he used to cover the tennis tour. So of course, whenever somebody says that, they suddenly want to drop like gossip on you, right?
Of course.
So his big gossip drop to me was, you read that Rafa said that he had a hair transplant, right? And I was like, no.
Rafa, who's your doctor?
No, and it was so funny because he said, I so admire that. This was the tangent he went on. He's like, I admire that he was able to come forward and say that instead of being like, I guess he can wear a wig.
Look. Only I'm allowed to discuss that wig Agassi shit, okay? Only look.
Listen, Agassi didn't even have a proper wig. Motherfucker had a toupee.
But the only thing, listen, the most striking thing about that biography is when Agassi spent many chapters talking about his hairpiece. And I was like, this is legitimately a big concern for this rule.
Oh God, girl, look. Rafa,
Anyway,
I don't know who
Rafa
doctor you
had
went
hair
to.
fall. He's gotten hair
But
fall.
You know what? Our friend of the
Rafa,
podcast, Shani, what's his name? I don't know. You know, he told me that he read that. I didn't read it.
Yes, apparently Rafa has had surgery. I need confirmation
talked
on
about,
that for
like,
anyone who follows Rafa's.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, it cost like $7,000 and
Stop. 2017, we're not putting up with this bullshit. Rafa, you probably went to Dr. Dre to get that fucking hair transplant because that is some shit. Look like somebody's playing fucking
it looks great when it's dry.
No, it's a slow process. Because doesn't hair transplant take like multiple?
Rafa, then you need to put on a head tie or some shit like that. That
I
shit
think
look
it
like
takes multiple stages.
I have no idea what it takes.
It looks good in pictures and it looks good.
No, lies.
Look,
Real,
that shit
stop
look like
it. It looks great. It looks great when it's dry.
It does look
That
great
looks
when it's
like-
dry.
It looks
Listen,
like
and
somebody
it's important. And it's important.
with his.
It's important. God, but can we just talk about this for a quick moment? How weird this is, because the one thing I remember about Rafa that I admired about him, aside from the arms, was that glorious mane. God, life is hard. Aging is a bitch.
Look,
Aging is a bitch. I'm sorry.
Rafa, it looked like somebody was playing dot with some hair follicles and that fucking
Leave
hair.
him alone.
Let that go.
His tennis.
Let that go.
His tennis.
Some blind grandmother was trying to plant hair in your head. Boo boo, no. Let that go.
Okay, we can move on. But let's move.
Go ball and put on a hairband.
So basically, based
Let
on
that
the
go.
based on the Brisbane results, there's still a question about what Rafa is really capable of, whether he'll be eliminated by Verdasco in the second round again, right? That seems highly possible that somebody will have a moment where they will eliminate Federer.
2017, Verdasco is not allowed to play any big players. Just get a fire out of here.
No, I'm gonna bet. Wait, it's gonna happen again. Guess what? Let's just call it. Verdasco is gonna get his shot at Nole many times this year, and he's finally gonna do it. Because every year Verdasco has a chance at somebody. Rafa, it takes a while, and he couldn't do it, and he finally did it last year. He's now gonna shift mode, and Verdasco is gonna be exactly. But we know how things work in Nole land. So Verdasco is coming for Nole's wig this year. I'm just letting you know.
For those players, sorry.
I'm just putting it out there. She's thinking about Rafa's plugs and she still can't breathe.
Look, that ain't plugs. That is not plugs. Look.
I admire it. I like it. I like that Rafa's finally admitting that his looks is important to him, because
I can't believe it. Look, I'm not hearing this. This is 2017.
What's wrong with you?
Got us a president that's fucked up. Look, no.
What?
Call a spade a spade. That shit looks messy. No, you all know you're not gonna be
when he's sweaty.
But he did it. So you gotta give him credit.
Janina and Andre, let's be 100 here. Y'all are not Rafa fans. Y'all not gonna be checking out Rafa when his hair is dry. Y'all not gonna be looking for Rafa.
I can't help it. I follow Rafa fans. They post pictures. I can't help but see Rafa.
Let me tell you what to do. Cut off some of Cersei's hair, or Zika's hair, whatever that your girlfriend is, and make yourself a badass bitch.
Did you call her Cersei?
Vika, I don't know her name is.
I gotta go.
No, Francesca, that's her name.
She's not well known enough for me to know her name, but
she's the fake girlfriend.
Oh my God, I can't with you two. You are spreading rumors like there's no tomorrow.
I love it.
Listen, I've always appreciated Rafa's fake girlfriend. She's great. She's so stoic. I
want to be the fake girlfriend. I bet she gets paid a lot of money.
Put an audition out there.
She's in school forever. I'm busy with school, bitch. You're the professor?
No,
How long is
but you
school?
know what though? The fact that she's on tour, I said it before, the fact that she's going to be on tour and in Australia, I think that bodes well. I think that means that Rafa expects people to be panning to his camp often. And
Even
maybe
she
we'll
was
get a
looking at
final.
that match against Milo. So what the fuck is going on out there? He was like, I did not sign up for this shit. This is not what I paid
Okay,
for. This is not what I be paid
let's
for.
move on to the most important
Moving
match
on.
that happened on the men's
Doha.
side this week was Doha, which was a chance for the 1 and 2 to tell you who they were. Don't sound exhausted.
Look.
You're gonna be having these 1 and 2 all year. This is the era that we're in.
You want to make a prediction now? How many times are they going to flip flop?
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna flip and flop all year until the summer. I mean, they're so close back to back, right? And Nole defends so much and Andy so little. So it just, I feel like they're gonna flip flop all the way through the summer until US Open.
Until
then,
Andy has to
This
defend Wimbledon.
this is precisely why I wanted to have a prayer.
But then Novak's gonna have to defend RG, right? So depending on how it all goes, I don't know. Maybe Novak.
Sweet tennis, Jesus, spare me this agony. I don't want to see another one of these matches.
What? Let's ask. Okay, wait. Let's be fair. As fair as we can be. This is what we have now. We no longer have Federer. We have these two. Do we think that their matches have gotten better? Are there things that we can take out of them?
Look. Unfortunately, I had an unbusy Saturday morning.
I watched the whole thing. I did.
Oh, God bless you.
I did.
And
I didn't even turn it on until the third set.
I had a conversation with Janina and I said, I think at one point I was like contemplating, why am I alive? Why is this happening?
You know what though? I will say the one thing about their matchup that has happened is because Andy's now fit, their matchup is exactly like Novak versus Rafa when their matches went on forever. Not that they were great, right? But it's exactly the same point over and over and over.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess Rafa, maybe I'm being a little bit racist, but Rafa brought some Spanish flair to it, something.
Well, sure. There was some fire there,
but I mean, Andy and oh, good Jesus. It's
Andy
like,
and Novak, it's like vanilla versus vanilla.
You're making it sound so excited. No.
milk toast versus yogurt. No.
Oh man.
No. Although I will say, I'm trying to characterize this rivalry.
No, it's dull. It's dull. It's dull as dishwater. It's dull.
I don't know if you both. I don't know if I found it dull as much as I find it repetitive. I find the points.
That's the problem.
I mean, I was saying this to Janina yesterday. I was just like, there were so many points and so many at many points during a particular point. At any given point, I would say, as in 15
moment.
Or whatever. Where you could be like, moment. We could be like, why isn't this point over? Motherfucker, you had, why are you extending this rally?
Because
what is the point of this?
Because they're both egoists. I mean, they're both so invested.
That's what I said to her too. It's almost like trying to outdo each other.
Yes. Oh, yes. And it's not even like, it's not like when they're outdoing each other when Andy used to try to outdo you by being clever. Now he's trying to outdo you by just like muscling you off the court, just as Novak does. And so basically they are just so into it forever. And on. It's like really long. That's bad. You know what I mean? And I was like,
but you know what I think?
I could probably have come already and had a good time and maybe come a second time. But this thing is the same.
I don't know if I was supposed to hear that the way that I did.
You know what? I swear to God, at one point I was thinking. I was thinking, Jesus Christ, y'all probably bad lovers. My God. Y'all just I wouldn't say what I'm thinking because I would be crude. But I was just thinking, y'all probably just just no subtlety, just no finesse.
Well, I didn't even turn it on until it went to a third.
Look at my
I just because
wait.
It just It's always the same match.
Don't eat on camera, Reels. I can hear you.
Yeah, cut the shit.
Because we're talking about Andy and Novak. Look.
It is not snack time.
Oh no, it's okay.
But yeah, it's always the same match, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
It's
Novak is gonna win.
I do think that this match was better than some of their others because first, it wasn't as error-strewn as their matches usually are. At certain points, they moved into the place where not that they were like hitting balls out, but they were just hitting balls forever, like that Ruffalo match that they had back in Australia. And you know, for tennis, the most important thing about a match is that it's long.
They think that it's automatic epic.
Yeah, and that's what they called it. They called it one of the best matches ever in Doha. I mean, I think it was important for Andy to have broken Novak and
any of the real fans. Let me hear y'all say that shit, but this is one of the best matches ever. I punch you on the fucking throat through Twitter.
Oh my god!
Violent! So violent!
Lies.
So violent!
Look, it's 2017. We should stop with the lie. Because us trying to placate and trying to pretend that something is what it isn't.
This is what we've got.
It's what got us into fucking trouble.
But it's what we have. Listen, these are the two top dogs, and these are the encounters we're gonna have to look forward to for the rest of the year. So you're gonna have to try to find some pleasure in it. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what you got. You got those two, and you've got two golden retrievers up in there, and they're gonna retrieve to death.
Guess what, Lauren Davis? I will be watching you and Anna Kunja play some tennis more and more. This is the fucking shit I gotta watch every day.
Well, do you guys realize that this match was maybe like 5 or so minutes longer than their Australian Open final?
Why do you even know that?
Because I was in the middle. I know, right? In the middle of the match, in the middle of the third set, the commentator said this match is 2 minutes shy of their Australian Open encounter. And I was like, wait a minute, it's been this long? And then it went on for another couple minutes, I think. And so I was like, oh, wow, this is, but so that
let me tell you something
Andy Murray, he still came out on the loser, but people have more respect for him out of this encounter than the last one.
Look, let me tell you something. Here's my pet theory. Novak knows. And anybody who really look at tennis, or not anybody, let me just say, for me, Novak can beat Andy with one hand tied behind his back.
He can normally.
It is the absolute truth. Let me tell you something interesting about that match people want to talk about. Every time Andy had a break point for Novak, he failed to convert until the second set, I think it was, when he won the last two games. Novak served. And
one of them was because, first of all, he won his game because Novak defaulted. Because he broke his racket. And every time Andy failed to convert on the break points earlier. And every single time the next game Andy served, he got broken.
Oops.
Andy is playing on Novak's will.
Of course, at all times.
But what Andy realized is that Novak is an egoist. He's stuck in his head in some bullshit. And Andy's just like, look, I don't need to go away. I just need to stick around. Let this motherfucker tie himself up over there and trying to perfect some shit and do whatever the fuck you want to do. And maybe, just maybe, I'll eke out a win. And that's what he's doing. But at the end of the day, when Novak needed to shut shit down, he just shut shit down. He broke Andy at love.
He did.
In the last set. And Andy had nothing. He could do nothing. Well, especially with those Venus Williams seconds. So, motherfucker, get out of here.
Well, the intrigue
and match my ass.
No, well, the interesting thing was, this is the weirdest thing. I mean, now I sound like some really crazy conspiracy theory, but I always feel like Novak is invested in making his encounters with certain opponents more interesting than they actually are, because
you think he's bored and he's out there playing around.
I think he's kind of bored. I mean, I think because the first thing, one of the things he says is like, if we, and he looked like, like he had any doubt what was going to happen in that match. I was like, whatever, dude. And then the second thing was like if we keep having encounters like that all year, we're in for a treat. And I was like, are we though? No. Are we though? But it never felt like that match was ever on Andy's terms. It was always on Novak's
terms. Never. And none of their matches ever feel that way.
Yeah, it feels
there's never a match where you figure like, okay. I mean, like Byron, if you don't listen to the British commentator, and you're just like, Andy really can't win because Novak moves better.
Yep. He
more
anticipates
flexible.
exactly where he's going to go.
He's a bit better.
I mean, some of
He
those
serves
shots,
better.
some of the shots that Andy was retrieving, and Novak had no problem finding being in position to get those balls back. I mean, and he would have been in position to get those balls back and forever. He looked like he hurt himself, but that never means anything. He gets up and performs. I was like, oh my God, did he hit his head? He laid down for about 10 minutes and then he got up and he was
trying
like,
to call out. Yeah, they were trying to call out at Novak and being like, he's be at death's door, but that's never nothing. I'm just like, you're talking about your boy Andy as well, right?
They're both.
Andy always got some niggles and something always wrong with his back and his foot, and don't even try it. Don't be calling out Nole for some shit like that. Yes, he behind a hangnail or two here or there, but look, Andy's infamous for this bullshit as well.
I mean,
so don't even try.
But in the end, I thought the commentators were more excited about the match than I was, which was good for them. And I think it was important for them to feel like the number 1 and the number 2 players were compelling in a certain way. I didn't find it to be a compelling matchup, but it was long, so that's always helpful.
Look, the matches of the week on the ATP side were clearly Roger versus Zverev and Divadal
Although that's
versus
an exhibition.
Nole. And that's an EXO.
Yeah.
But you best believe Zverev wanted that fucking win. So did Roger.
He went for
and
it.
by the way, could we just clarify, people? An EXO win is not a win, okay? It's an EXO. So everybody talking about how
we don't count those. Nobody counts.
Oh, girl. Well, we didn't count them in 2016, but apparently in 2017 now we're trying to count that shit as a legit win. No, it's still an EXO. They're playing habits still an EXO, okay?
So what about the ladies? What about the ladies?
Hey, ladies.
Woo!
Ladies. So let's talk about Auckland.
Whoa. Brutal.
Wow.
So
let's talk about anywhere basically.
Who ended up winning Auckland actually? Who ended up taking that trophy home on the ladies'
Laura
side?
Davis.
Oh, Laura
Davis.
Bless her heart.
Beating Anna Conja, I think she named her.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised because Anna couldn't take that shit. I was like, Anna, what the fuck are we doing?
I expected more from Anna, but I didn't. I watched. So how was that match? I watched a few in Auckland, but I watched a little bit of Sydney. I've been watching more of that.
I actually didn't see too much of Auckland at all because I had to sleep. I saw a little bit of some reruns here and there. I don't know. I just know that Serena's press conference was hilarious. She threw as much shade on that tournament as that article threw on her. So it was great. She's like 88 unforced errors. I don't think I've ever done that in my career. No, I'm not going to go back and look at that. Why would I do that?
Well, I mean,
these conditions are horrible.
Well, it was bad for everybody, right? I mean, the rain, it was windy. It was a bad tournament. I mean, I've heard people listen. Venus has enjoyed Auckland, and I've enjoyed Venus and Auckland in the past. It was just not great this year. That's all.
Yeah.
It was just one of those bad years where you just have to write the entire thing off. You might even. I
don't think Serena's going back.
You might even have to write off the results. I mean, sorry, Lauren.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, but let's be honest. None of the top ladies look like they're informing unless you're Pliskova, Kapliskova, as you call her, because Halep went out.
Listen, when does Halep not go out? Come on.
Yeah, she's not relevant.
Anna has a lot.
She has to do something important to become relevant. I'm tired of talking about her.
Went out.
You know, for me, I feel like she's a little bit of our Grigor, but she's better in the sense that she actually has results. But there's so much hope placed on Halep as the next thing that like I think she gets a lot of press when maybe she shouldn't. But she has won a premier title, so it's not like she's been to a final. She's been to a couple semi-finals. Yeah, you know what I mean. But it's just
I'm
like
she plays Serena hard enough, and she plays Serena hard enough to make it a little interesting. But I mean, honestly, I don't see anything. Me personally, I like her game, but I don't see anything like star quality about her.
But she's very popular.
But
that's important.
Yes.
But then I mean, because she's
so friendly,
sweet girl.
Is she?
She's very, very
sweet
friendly.
girl.
Yes, she's extremely friendly. Yeah.
I've never.
Well, you know what it is.
Her, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? I don't know if I'm putting it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
She comes across as a nice girl, and that's what I think it is. You don't get the sense that she is, like slutting it up somewhere and being rude and provocative. She's just a simple, young lady.
Oh, she's trying to do that thing that Petra's
very
doing.
business.
She's actually the Petra on tour.
No.
You
can't have somebody's husband and try to be nice to them.
No. Listen. I'm not saying that about Petra, but that's how people want to sell Petra. People try to sell me Petra like she's a girl next door. I was like, if your girl next door is stealing people's husbands, but but you know what I mean. That's how they want to.
Somebody's man. No, I mean, but that's just it, right? But Halep doesn't give any of that, and you don't hear anything about Halep. So she's just she seemed very reliable and consistent. Like you get a right then and there. It's nothing crazy, nothing provocative. Pliskova, Aga looks very shy, especially from those photo shoots. Girl, I don't know who was the production manager for that photo shoot with you and your boyfriend or fiance, but
I think it's the same thing that happened. I think it's the same thing that happens sometimes for some of the ladies. The thing about the beginning of the year to me is that it doesn't say anything about what's going to happen in the middle or the end. People start off on fire and fade, and other people, just the nature of their reputation. I mean, I'd put more stock in Aga, even though she lost. I'm pretty certain that Aga is going to be fairly consistent the rest of the year. You know what I mean? It's like Kapliskova, right. I think maybe she's figuring out how to actually show up. I don't know. We'll see how she does in this next slam. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know if any of the results. I don't know if any of the winners this week means anything on the ladies' side.
No, because definitely not Lauren Davis.
Yeah, she's a good solid.
Won Shenzhen.
Up with that title, actually.
I'll tell you in a minute.
So yeah, I think Kapliskova is probably the only. She's now emerging as the fave. What does that do? Sometimes a fave can really be a burden.
Well, that's the thing. But when the pressure gets on her, she usually fizzle, right? Not Alison Sinikova.
Oh, Sinikova. Yeah,
beat Alison.
Yeah.
Who took Kerber out?
I think it was Sinikova. Wasn't it Sinikova? I didn't care.
Svitolina. Number one week snatcher.
Oh yes, Svitolina. Yes. Svitolina always taking number ones. She's replacing.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's the new stat. She has beat. I can't. Let's not talk about that. Let's not. Let's screw that. So fuck that shit.
So let's go to the news. Let's go to the news. The results were.
Yeah.
The results were subpar for the ones that we really care about and follow. Venus, elbow injury. We're going to have to see about that. Serena just needed more match play, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She'll just have to work her way up through it like she normally does. Kerber, I think the same thing. I think once these, and so many people have also withdrawn to prepare for the Australian Open.
Yeah, I'm not buying all of these injuries. No,
these are the pre-slam withdrawal.
Pre-slam, need some extra practice. Don't want to be tired. And you know what? I just said last night to somebody, why is Kuznetsova playing this week? I realize she has a title to defend, but come on, girl. You finished 2016 pretty strong. You're looking good already this year. Why are you playing the week before a Grand Slam?
You know what? Honestly, because I have to say that I think Kuznetsova is one of those people that needs matches. I wish you didn't, but I feel like she hits a groove, and I feel like then she gets better.
Yeah, I want her to rest.
You want her to be better, but listen, she'll be losing. She ain't gonna defend this title.
No, probably not. She looked good last night, though.
I'm glad you did it because I didn't want to be a bitch and say, like, girl, Kuzi know that she's gonna meet Franny in that first round.
It seems to me she's somebody that needs matches because she needs. I think she can go off rhythm really quickly. So I feel like
she got a new
motivation. She needs motivation. It's never been matches. It's whether Kuzi really wants to be on the tour and really wants to be a full-blown professional. For all the Russians that have been. Look, Kuzi has been around. Like much of the Russians that grew up with Kuzi are no longer here. Just she and Maria are just the ones there, right? From the older generation,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, she's been around for a long time. Yeah, she
But
And
you know
she's
what?
been up and down. And there's been injury, yes, but you never get the sense that Kuzi is 100 committed and
You know what?
focused.
I don't think that about her.
I don't think that about her at all. I get I've never, even when she gives interviews, it's never a case where it seems like she does not care. I think whether she organizes herself mentally in sport is another thing entirely, and you interpret it that she doesn't care. But to my mind, Kuznetsova always seems really invested. It's whether it actually turns out for her.
Translates on court.
Yeah, like she's never seemed like a kind of person who's lazy or doesn't care. That's not something I get from her.
She just strings together really good times and really bad times, but I don't think it's a lack of effort or caring.
Yeah, I would never say that Kuznetsova doesn't.
I don't
care.
know.
Like, it's
I
not
just don't get
like
that there's 100% focus on
what else is
the task
Kuznetsova
at hand.
doing?
She's
But
working on her
but
rap
you know what?
album, duh.
She's modeling. I mean, look.
Listen,
let's be 100
she's
here.
not like a genie. Like sometimes I legitimately do believe that Jeannie Bouchard might have other things on her mind. Right?
Oh, clearly.
Legit.
There's no doubt about
Clearly,
that.
right? She's juggling a lot, this 22-year-old.
You know
Got a lot going
what?
on.
Since you brought up Jeannie, I was watching her and Zhang last night.
Mhm.
I was impressed.
How could
And
you
I
be?
thought-
Zhang was not
By
hitting any
Zhang?
balls.
No,
Zhang
I
was
was
not playing.
impressed with how she was hitting the ball. I just kept going, this must be why everybody thought she was going to be such a big thing.
Well,
Because she hasn't played well in a while.
In a very long time.
You know, so we kind of forget about her. She hits a huge ball.
she can.
Huge. I was like, I don't
she's
remember
a good
this
corner
about
puncher.
her.
No,
But
she used to
Can
be
smash that ball.
Yeah, and she's used to be a really good scrambler, and she used to seem to really anticipate well,
She
especially
looks
when she
fit
did.
as fuck.
She's definitely fitter than she has been in a long time. There's
She
probably
looks
no
great.
injury issues. So, I mean, listen, yeah, I mean, I haven't forgotten that Jeannie was somebody who could be compelling on a tennis
Well,
court.
I forgot.
I mean,
I was
you might not like her strokes though. Her strokes are ugly as shit.
Well,
But
they can be ugly, but they're powerful as hell.
I think
So,
that
yeah,
she has a good coaching person behind her again. So I think that's
Yeah.
also helpful. Because it seemed for a while that
Yeah,
she wasn't
so-
enjoying her game and even just being out there. So
Well,
she
no,
seems
she was
much
too
more
busy,
settled.
with lawsuits and shit. Anyways,
Okay.
speaking of coaches, Nole got rid of Boris. And
Yeah.
Boris is tweeting up a storm about what he needs to be doing. Did y'all catch that during the final with Murray?
No, what did he say?
Boris
I
was
saw
like
parts
on
of
a
it.
fucking tweet shitstorm coaching from his couch.
Well, it's too bad. He should just be coaching from the seats. I mean,
Yeah,
why
I mean,
did
what
he-
happened there?
You see, this is how people fuck up themselves, right? Because Barra's gonna legit get a job. Somebody else gonna pick up Barra.
I'm sure somebody else might. Why
But
would
not when
they?
you're acting like an asshole like
Oh,
that.
listen, forget it. You think
there-
that people care about coach's attitude? They care about results, and you cannot
Yeah.
deny that Boris gave Nole good results. So you tell me if Burditch isn't gonna get on that damn phone and be like, "Can somebody hook me up?"
Somebody else will turn down Birdie. Poor guy.
I tell you, Burditch isn't interested in doing real work.
You know what? He needs to find a female coach that will appreciate his good looks.
And
Who? Burditch?
Yeah.
And he's gonna call me
Shut
some
up.
Eastern European shit to her. She's gonna file a lawsuit? No.
Zip it.
Save the world. That
So
drama. okay?
it's my from the chatter that was happening during the final from the commentators, and even they were acknowledging how much Boris was tweeting throughout the match. Sounds like there was some love lost there.
I
It
wonder
was
what
not-
led that. I wonder what led to that.
No idea.
I mean,
Well, like-
my suspicion is that Boris is like, dude, why are you going all crazy? Because your wife found out you had an affair. I used to have an affair every week.
Thank
Get it
you.
together.
Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
I was
Motherfucker,
fucking
I had
bitches
an
in the
affair
porno
in the
closet.
restaurant with my wife at the table.
Right. Like, we got this, boo. We can get
together.
through this.
That was my thing.
Snatching
I think,
some vagina on the side should not fuck up the program.
yeah, I have a feeling Boris was like,
Like,
I feel like Boris was shocked that Novak went off the rails simply because of an affair. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that was
you
my
know,
sense. Like,
Let's
dude,
not
get it together.
forget that towards the end of last year, Boris was calling Nole out publicly
For not training enough.
for
and
not
stuff.
training and putting in the effort that he should have been. So something's been going on for a while. So yeah, bye, Boris.
And then
Yeah,
he went
well, I
with
actually thought that-
then he went with somebody that's kind of like normal, just like a fellow journeyman tennis player.
Well, you see, what I thought was interesting because so I'm watching that boring match, Murray versus Djoker, and there is Djoker acting like an asshole, screaming at his box, get up, clap for me.
He did not say that. I don't remember.
But he wasn't saying that. But that was why he was gesticulating to that.
I think
Am I wrong?
I think he just needs like angst on a court, and if he doesn't get it from the
And
other
they were just,
player,
like looking at him like, "Boo,
generates
you're
it."
doing too much. You are doing."
But let's be
way
honest,
too
though,
much.
when has Nole not done too much? Come on, that's like
Right.
part of his model of like success is agita and angst out on the court. Like,
Mhm.
And they were like, "Look, you need to just get your shit together." That's what I loved about this new coach. He was just like, "I'm not here for that, boo boo. Get logged. Not interested. You're boring me right now." He just gave him that look like, "Oh, I'm over this shit."
I think Novak's boring himself. I mean, I know he's boring me, but I'm assuming
You
he's
know
boring
what?
himself
He
too.
did-
Maybe
Well,
I'm
but that's
projecting.
what I enjoyed about the box, because the box do not engage that madness, because that madness is nonsense.
Ooh, what
And
about
it's for no goddamn reason.
Is it Dominic Thiem that has the fun little boy in his box?
Yeah, I used to. Is he
yeah.
there?
Was he around this week?
Dominic
Yeah.
Thiem has been around, but Dominic Thiem's busy taking pictures of himself with Karen. The new, but no, I mean, I think that's interesting. I'm curious to see. I think Novak's bored, and I think it'll be interesting to see how he monitors and manages his boredom for the next year.
Well, it's gonna be interesting because Roger and Nadal are back, so
Yeah.
that should make his life a little bit more interesting.
I mean, barely
got
though,
something
because
to
they're
do.
not even in the same league anymore. I mean, Novak is far
Well,
away
you
better
know what?
than them, right?
Nole doesn't care. I
Yeah,
mean, now he has real competition.
supposedly, I guess. I mean, at least
You know?
somebody that can give him some juice. But yeah, so that was kind of I was a little bit surprised by that. Like I knew that Novak and Boris were not 100% on, but you can't deny that he gave him results. So I was surprised that
True.
ended.
Well,
Yep.
I
Rafa
wasn't
got
so
a new
surprised.
coach.
Rafa
No.
and Carlos. I mean, is that really a new coach, or is that let's just bring my mentor on tour and give him a job?
Thank you very much.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. I like to call it, I'm giving my buddy the hookup. No, Carlos, get him to do this weekend. Hey, come hang with me. Look,
I mean,
that ain't.
you couldn't handle Davis
Let's
Cup,
call us.
so let's just give you a job.
Thank you.
That'll be that.
Thank you
I
very
mean,
much.
what new could Carlos? I mean, I guess the only thing Carlos
Thank you.
can give
The
to
motherfucker
Rafa-
without a backhand. Without a backhand.
But you know what?
Mm.
But did Carlos Moya not have a good impact on Milos?
I'm still out. on that. I don't know.
I mean,
No, yeah.
Milos got as high as he's ever gotten. He beat.
That is true, but
I feel like he
I'm
was
gonna say
headed
that's
there
individual
anyways.
Ivan Lubitsch.
I mean, you're right. He was
Exactly.
headed there.
I mean, that was yeah.
He was headed there. I don't know. I mean,
And that only lasts for a year. Yeah, to me, it's just like, are we gonna hire a man without a backhand to teach Milos how to deal with a backhand? No, not having that conversation. I'm gonna
I mean, I
say
think
it's
it's-
Ivan took him there, but Carlos just collected a check. Hey,
yeah. I mean,
free
and I guess
money.
it's good for Nadal because I think Nadal is basically with Carlos because he trusts him, right? And that
And
doesn't
look,
it doesn't
wait,
feel
wait, wait.
new, but it's
let
different.
me just show you. Let me just show you how I know it. I'm gonna give my buddy a hookup.
Why?
They mean to tell me Milos and Carlos spent a whole fucking year together,
I know.
and Carlos couldn't tell Divadal plan B.
I know. I was
Get the
surprised by
fuck
that. I was
Get
fully
outta here.
expecting. I was
Nope,
fully
that's
expecting
my-
Rafa
give
to
my buddy a
handle that.
hookup.
Yeah.
I know amigo when I see amigo. Okay? Divadal, give us the money, okay? Carlos will come into the box still. He looks in some publicity. Hey, he's working at the school. You know what I mean? You already
Alright.
give him one paycheck. Why give him two?
And then the
Uh-oh.
other
Nonsense.
coaching change is the switch up. that Jeannie took back her coach from Madison, and Madison went back to Lindsay. I don't know why. I guess Lindsay's decided she's willing to be on the road now again, because that supposedly was the reason why it didn't work in the first place.
That's what they're trying to tell you.
Yeah.
But we all know Lindsay was like, look, bitch,
stop crying.
You too melancholic. You are too much for even me. This is nonsense. I'm sure Lindsay would just say what you try to call it. Lindsay just like, are we gonna cry again? Are we gonna cry anymore? Because I'm done with this. Time for you to put on your big girl pants, and we're gonna have to do. I'm eager to see how this relationship is gonna work. Because I'm expecting the only thing I think is gonna work is if Lindsay do something differently and Lindsay do what she wants to do. Because I felt in the past what Lindsay wanted to do, Madison was giving a lot of resistance.
Oh yeah, maybe she'll trust it now that she's been around the block a few times.
Lindsay, please don't come on the court and encourage that madness. Please, no uncle coaching. Stop it. It ain't look cute. It ain't cute to see your old rival beating your protege. It ain't cute. Okay? No. And you don't trying to give her advice, trying to get her life together. No, because Venus and Serena just like, you know what? That counts as 2 wins for me. Beat Madison, I beat Lindsay once again. No, Lindsay, get your life together, okay? None of that nonsense.
Well,
but
it has to be said that the WTA won the off season, right? All their news.
They showed it.
They kept everyone on their toes.
No doubt.
I'm telling you, they was just like, you couldn't even script it. It was just one after another. They was just like, what? Look. When the WTA do it, they do it big. Hey. And you know what? They had to compete with a lot because the off-season on the men's side was dominated by Wilder's return. So you had to come big or you had to not come at all. Right?
Oh, God.
To stop Roger, to interrupt news about Roger, you had to come big at ATP WTA.
They brought it.
They brought it. They brought it to the table. I think
what's the most shocking news for you guys? From the ladies' side.
I'll tell you what should be the most shocking news and then what is the most shocking news. I'm totally gonna get shit on for this.
Me too.
The most shocking news should be Petra's assault. Because that's just ugly, scary, horrible, bad. Right? But I think more shocking was the engagement with Serena.
Yeah, that felt a little bit more surprising. Not so much that she was engaged to him, because we kind of knew that she was dating him.
Period.
Just engaged, period. Yeah.
Yep. I think the fact that a lot of people, from my experience, didn't even realize she was dating him lets me know that they did it right. Because it's hard to be a celebrity couple and keep your business to yourself. So the fact that it was such a surprise to some people who are so-called fans to not even realize that she had a boyfriend. Because I don't know if you guys saw that in your timeline, but I saw like, who is this? What? Huh?
Yeah, the funny thing is I knew she had been dating, but I didn't know if it was serious enough for marriage, because I remember the first time we were introduced to them as a couple was when she nailed that pickpocket, right? Because she was out with him.
Yeah.
And that was like sometime before the US Open, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there had been talk about it, but the other thing for me, and I don't follow Serena off.
I don't want to gong you.
But
you're gonna, so go on and do it.
No, I just want to clarify something.
Serena normally secretive though? Like, because as many times as she talks about her relationship, she never really confirms or denies anything.
No, she is very secretive. But I just want to confirm something. So homeboy was out with Serena. Somebody pickpocketed Serena, and he let Serena run behind.
Well, I think the nature of the way it worked out was that I think he was at a table, and I think the way it happened, it seemed like she just turned and like went. Like I don't know if there was enough reaction time.
He wasn't not trying to defend her. Stop spreading rumors.
I just wanted to clarify. Okay, I'm not spreading any rumors. But I'm happy for her. Hey girl, you know what? get yourself a rich man. That's my goal too.
But it's not even a rich man. She's got twice. She's worth more than he is.
She's going to be worth more than most people.
Always says the easiest money to spend is somebody else's. Hey.
Well, she can spend his faster than she can spend hers.
And then she keeps her money to herself.
She could bankrupt him before he bankrupts her.
Serena, girl, I am
all I want to say is prenup. Get a prenup.
Of course. I mean, there is
Serena, you get a prenup.
Serena, don't let love give you the thrill, but love don't play the bells. Okay, girl.
I'm not even going there until I see her walking down the aisle.
In a wedding. Yeah, because I mean, Venus was as you said, Venus was engaged at one point, right? So
yes, she was. So an Australian golfer. Yeah. But Serena, if you do decide to do the day, the advice, constructive criticism, get your eyebrow under control, get yourself a good weave, and first and foremost, please, I beg thee, do not try to squeeze into a size 0, girl. You know that body is fit and it's tight, but it's nowhere near being a 0.
All I want to say is try not to get married in the same month as every single tennis player, but I suspect you will.
Yeah, right.
Girl, get married after the French Open.
Always.
Isn't that when they get married?
No. They usually do it before. They usually do it during Monte Carlo week for some weird reason.
She loves Paris. So I say get married in Paris, right?
It'll be fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, my curiosity around
get married in Inglewood, girl.
My curiosity around that is I like that she's preparing for the next stage of her life. I always like when tennis players are getting ready for that, because there's nothing worse than a person who retires and looks longingly back on their career. The more you can shore up things to do, the better. Speaking of, Anna.
I mean, whatever.
Look,
I don't know if you guys saw this week that Anna went to see a doctor and the doctor actually tweeted it out or posted it on Instagram, and it was a gynecologist.
I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world, but hello, HIPAA violation.
He's like, I just had a gynecological patient. I was like, okay. So
apparently he deleted it.
I see. You see. This is how I don't. This is why I don't. I've never been on the Anna Ivanovic bandwagon. Just never. Because I'm sure Anna orchestrated that because she's trying to signal to people that I'm pregnant or I'm getting pregnant.
Well, we all listen. It's not a signal. Who isn't? Who is not?
No.
I don't think you. I don't think you could point to 100 people in a room who doesn't believe that Anna Ivanovic won't be pregnant before the end of the summer. Come on.
Anna Ivanovic,
let her be pregnant. Tacky. But you know what? Here's the flip side of that. Tacky. Women go to the gynecologist all the time. That's what they do. They're female doctors.
But your doctors don't point that shit out, though. That's kind of weird.
Thank you.
That's weird. Well, I mean, I'm sure she's been to him before. Was it a new doctor?
Low brow.
It was a little low brow.
I don't know. But
I mean, is that the first time she's been to a gyno? Because then it would be like, okay. I mean, is he a new doctor? If he's a new doctor,
we can't write.
So maybe, but
she was in the picture. She knew it was being taken. So come on. It wasn't a secret picture. It wasn't a candid shot. They were cuddled up and smiling. I don't care that she's
preparing us all for her baby. And you know what? Do you, Anna? Maybe you can have a baby and come back like Kim Clijsters. I mean, I could see that happening.
No.
Maybe it won't choke like Kim Clijsters used to do before the baby. But hey, you know what?
But that's what I mean. It'll be good. So any other news? Any other news?
I just want to say,
Vika had her baby.
Oh, Vika had
her baby. And then like 2 days later is posting. She's posting pictures of herself talking about I'm in my jeans, and I'm like, bitch. Fine.
Vika act like she wasn't wearing those jeans the day before. Come on, Vika. Come on.
Right?
I mean, let's be honest. Athletes giving birth are really different from normal women giving birth.
Totally different.
It's like I know people.
She only gained 4 pounds.
When people do that, I'm always like, you're an athlete. Your body's different. Move on.
That bitch was working out
I'm in this. I should hope you are. You're an athlete.
Someone stab you in the breast. If someone choke you, although
what's really interesting about it though is like how she was, she really let people know right away, because she said she took a picture on the tennis court and letting my baby know where mommy works, and I was like, okay.
Oh, she's already back on court. I missed that. Well, good for her.
Well, she's
Because
letting you know that she's
working on it.
she's planning to return. That's like
Yeah.
her. I think that's good to
All
know.
right.
I mean, I'm always surprised when women return if you don't have to, but
Well, she probably wants to because that was a surprise pregnancy anyways. That
For
wasn't
sure.
a planned
That's true.
life event.
Exactly, and thing. But can we just spend a little? Should we or can we spend a little moment on Petra's episode?
Yes, we should. I mean, I don't really know what to
Because-
say. It's crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. I feel like
I have some questions, but I don't know if anyone can answer my question. And I'm just confused.
The reports that came out right after it happened, and they're talking about this surgery. And I am completely speculating here, but I'm going to tell you what I think happened as far as what happened to her body. When they talked about the surgery that she had and having to reconstruct the hand and tendons being cut, and it was it 4 or all 5 fingers? I don't remember. But they also mentioned lacerations on the neck. So that sounds like to me that she was defending herself and pushing with her hand palm out, pushing away, and probably got cut like that. Because if you got cut on the top of your hand, you're not going to have that type of injury, probably. I don't know. I don't know. That was just my guess. And it just sounded like crazy. And I'm thinking, and then they were talking about nerve damage. And for me, that was much more concerning than the tendon damage, because you damage a nerve. Her tendons may heal. She'll go through therapy. She'll do all that. She may pick up a racket and go to hit a ball, and she can't feel it properly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very real possibility. So
Well, you know what?
I think she's got a really long road ahead of her that is probably very uncertain.
Well, not according to the way they're posting it, but that's
Thank you.
I'm not buying
it. Doesn't mean anything.
That's it. That was going to be my next point. That's going to be my point, because I'm just about to say that you sound far more concerned
than
about
they do.
The situation.
They're like, she's not holding a racket. She's been able to touch a racket. She's been able to grip it.
Yeah, probably with her right hand.
No, they wouldn't have mentioned it if it was her right hand. They're like letting you know.
You know what? Maybe there's also the possibility that maybe after everything's said and done, it wasn't as bad as they thought. But initially, they said that she wasn't doing anything with that left hand for at least 3 months. That was the initial report after the surgery.
From the picture, from the way I see Petra laughing and crying, I swear to God, she bumped her toe, or someone took off a hangnail off her finger. Like, look, I am confused about the report that came before the assault, when she pulled out of Hopman Cup, was it? Some event. And then the report that came out. And I'm always suspicious of WTA News and how WTA cover news, because it's what they're not telling me that I'm always surprised about, because it's how quickly the story disappeared when the Serena engagement popped up, right? It's the same thing what happened with Maria, right? When Maria drug scandal, whatever came out, they don't tell you. And as always, the WTA log, DNC, you need to invest in 2 things next election cycle: a Hillary server, WTA personnel, because they motherfuckers who keep a secret. Okay, they hold shit down tight. They don't let anything out. I'm suspicious about how the story circulated from them and how the story came out and how the news was getting via Twitter, and it just wasn't right. And that they decided, and they thought that it was necessary for Petra to put on a good face. Look, a motherfucker came into her house and assaulted her. She don't need to come outside and be happy and smiley, because that is traumatic. Someone come into the safety of your home and assaulted you, cut your hand. That was attempted murder, basically. If someone have their hand around your neck and wielding a knife, you anymore, boo-boo, they're coming to kill you. So I'm surprised that she's out there grinning and smiling. I'm okay. I'll be fine. Oh my God, this is just, oh my God, I'm laughing. It's funny. It's like, oh, my hand.
Well, you know what, though? Sometimes people don't respond appropriately to tragedy. And it's
Janina,
a defense mechanism. Yes, it's true. But
I'm not saying no, but
for the sake
handlers,
of,
the people around you would say this is not okay. You don't
Mhm.
need to do this. This is unnecessary.
no, that's what you would do.
Right. So I mean, like, I just find the whole thing suspicious. I'm sorry she got hurt,
but it's a criminal investigation, and they probably don't. I don't know. I mean, I get it. I
but
totally.
that's just it. That's what I find surprising, that they're providing so much information, yet they provide no information.
Isn't that always how it goes? So.
Exactly.
Right. This is what I'm saying, that they felt that they needed to do a PR tour. That was the most alarming. Could you imagine, like, Monica Seles after being stabbed coming out and saying, I'm okay, hey.
But this is the world that we live in. This is the world that when athletes are in the hospital feel that they need to take a picture of themselves in the bed to prove that it really happened.
That's different. They had an injury while at work. Not someone coming into your house and trying to kill you. That's different. Rafa pretending he had appendicitis. It's whatever. Marion Bartoli pretending that she got, God knows, some virus so she can't touch electronics. Whatever. She trying to sell us a lie. Okay? You know what? Buy that. She put a picture of cookies, whatever.
I'm not going to say she's trying to sell us a lie.
This was a fake. This was a weird construction, and everything that led up to it, like regarding how the information was released and the subsequent action by her, I just find rather alarming that we are missing a crucial piece of the information here. That there is just something that is going to make everything that we're seeing here make sense. That it doesn't make sense.
In time that will come out.
But we're missing something. There's just something that's very vital. The key, that there's almost like an information. There's a pit that's like, oh,
it's because you watch so much.
No, that makes sense now. And you know what?
He was assessing.
Yes.
Look, from the very jump, look, and I trust my instinct, okay? And usually, I'm just saying, but Petra, get well, get back on the tour if you can, soon as possible, and don't forget to lock your doors. The gas meter should not be in your bed, in your house. It should be outside. So get an apartment where that is the case, where no one needs to come into your apartment. Okay? And get a security or something. All righty then. What are the news and events? I mean, Janina. Andre, you didn't say anything. Janina crazy? Am I crazy, rather?
No, it was weird. I mean, I think it was weird because of the sequence of the way the reporting about her stabbing came out. First, she was not going to be around for the tournaments in Australia. First, that was the news. And then the next thing that came out was that she had been in some sort of incident. And so it seemed like, I don't know. Yeah, it feels like the incident was meant to be covered up, and then something happened where it couldn't be covered up anymore.
It couldn't have been covered up.
So that was what felt weird out of it. It's like you came up with an excuse, and then for some reason the excuse wasn't going to hold, and so the whole thing just felt very obviously. I mean, I hope she's fine, and I hope everything is fine, and I don't really need to know what went on, but clearly I feel like there's a little bit more complexity happening, and I wonder if she knew the intruder. That was my question, and whether it was actually violence committed by a friend. So that was my initial instinct when I read the thing. It's rare for these things to be strangers. So I assume it was and then I wondered who she was dating. I mean, it was just like to my mind, it read as something far more sinister than it was covered. But of course, we can't really count on tennis press to actually ask difficult questions about these things. They're too busy telling us that she's the nicest person. Yeah, I mean, they're too busy. People are just too busy telling us she's the nicest person they've ever met on the planet.
And it couldn't have happened to
I don't even care. If it happened to Coco Vandeweghe, it'd still be horrible. And we all know
what I'm saying?
It's annoying as hell.
I just don't care. Like I don't care that it came out funky.
I do. I think you need to be more transparent with your news. I mean, that's the problem with news in general. It's like I care how news comes across. Like it needs to be
maybe I don't care isn't the right way to say it, but I'm not surprised because like you just said, that is the way that news happens in general. And everybody wants to report first before they report accuracy anymore. So,
but they're not interested in accuracy though.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it sounds fishy or whatever, but I don't know that that is any doing of hers. I'm not willing to place the blame on her.
No, I don't care about Petra. I mean, Petra, I don't know who Petra is. I mean, the most important thing about Petra is how people report about Petra, because that's what I can focus on.
Right.
I didn't think the reporting of it was particularly good, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's tennis news. Tennis reporting
Petra,
is...
Can I ask a serious question, girl? Have you slept with somebody else's man?
Uh-oh.
They dialing with someone else's husband.
Again.
In trouble for that situation. And maybe it wasn't a man who came into your apartment.
Uh-oh. Well, apparently the person was still on the loose.
Well, let's hope that they get...
We haven't heard it. You know what's weird, though? We haven't heard anything
looking for a man, and in fact, what they're looking for...
Murder porn. Murder porn. You're reaching. You're going to get us in trouble.
Oh, it's just a serial there. I think Nicole Vidasov is over that situation anyway. And she would have fucked up Petra ages ago.
Oh my
She had
God.
ample opportunity to do that. But yeah, I mean, I hear what both of you are saying, but you know, for me, it's just like, if you're gonna try to sell me something, I'm gonna come at you to sell it to me correctly. Much rather you tell me nothing, because this was the information. Like I said, this was the information I needed to know. Petra was injured, and you know, something happened to Petra, and to yourself and secretly, you know what I'm saying? But you know, once you start telling me something and try selling me a 619, we have a problem. So I'm not okay with this story as it is. But at the end of the day, Petra was injured, whether it was deliberately, maliciously, through fault of her own, etc., or whatever the case may be. Not that she, but you know, it's not okay. You know, I wish her well.
All right. So let's talk real quick about Novak's little temper tantrums on court, and Nick Kyrgios saying, if that were me, I would have been defaulted and banned until 2025. Because what happened? I don't know what happened first. I know that Novak smashed a racket, and then he also hit a ball. He did
hit
both.
The ball happened first.
Smashed a racket, got a racket abuse. That happened first, and then
he hit the ball, and that he got the warning. He hit the ball.
Okay, so he hit the ball, and it hit a spectator, and he also smashed his racket.
Right,
so,
I think that's when he lost. When he was serving for the match, I think it was.
I don't know, and
he lost a point. He got a point penalty at one point.
Yes, he did. Regardless, Kyrgios comes on Twitter and says, rightfully so, if that were me, I would have been defaulted and suspended until 2025.
Well, there's no doubt about that. That is true. He would have been suspended for a significant amount of time. What I'm most concerned about is the ATP hasn't asked that Nole has a psychological evaluation. That's what I'm most concerned about.
I expect a report about that.
Yes, because what I find interesting is the fact that, you know, you can hand this down to Nick Kyrgios because he tanked a match. And here you have someone assaulting people around the place.
And he's always so close to assaulting people, too.
Right. This will happen. No, people...
This is the ATP.
I think people are getting confused. No,
top guy.
But you see, my problem again, you know, let me address a couple of things. First is that his fans, Nole family, y'all need to get off of Kyrgios' dick. And I'm going to put it that way. It just leaves Kyrgios the fuck alone. Shit, and you know, he's speaking truth in this situation here. And to say, you know, his bad behavior since 2015, if I'm not correctly, Nole has been acting in this manner rather erratically, screaming at ball kids, acting and aggressive and screaming, and it's just too much. He's pushing umpires.
We just saw that he was just fined $2,500 for unsportsmanlike conduct.
The very first time, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I think
these are not isolated incidents. They're not by any means isolated incident. They have been ongoing for a couple of years now. So we cannot pretend that this is like an isolated situation and that he's just simply like, oh, like he we're just picking on him and whatever the case may be. You all are scrutinizing Nick Kyrgios for far less. So that needs to stop. Secondly, what most of y'all are wasn't intentional. No, stop with that bullshit. Because none of these situations where people have been defaulted from a game have ever been intentional.
Yeah, it's never been that. They're never. Yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, that's what happened with the guy. That's what happened with Nalbandian. I don't think he intended to do it.
Nalbandian was different because he clearly saw the man sitting there.
No, he was angry and he kicked. But I mean, I don't think he was like, I'm going to go kick this guy. I think he kicked his name. You know what I mean? Like, so exactly. It's always that.
Gasquet hit a ball and he struck a ball kid and he defaulted from it. It's never intentional. The intent is that you struck the ball intentionally away. You kicked the thing intentionally. And that, in fact, caused damage. Why it was different when that girl Ostapenko and Brody is that it was very clear that Ostapenko didn't intend to hit the the racket slipped out of her hand. There was a situation where someone, I forget, was it Cornet? Mm-hmm. At some tournament last year or the year before, she almost hit someone, threw the racket down and almost hit, and no one said anything. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if it's Cornet, but my mind is telling me it's Cornet, and nobody dealt with that situation. It almost says that women can't be pathological, but yet we're gonna go on about Serena because she screamed at some ball. So well,
that's just Serena being what you're supposed to be. Serena's a black girl, you know, we're intimidating as shit.
Right. And yes, we bring that up. We bring that up every single time we want to talk about Serena, you know, and
we never talk about the fact that Nole has a rage problem.
Yeah, that's because he shows the love.
I don't know whether he's showing love or not, but let's be honest. Nole has a rage problem. He's already admitted that because he's seeing a guru. So this is a person who has problems with their anger on court. And I'm waiting for them to suggest that he sees a psychologist, but maybe he doesn't need to because he's already seen a guru.
And what I'm waiting for, because what I'm surprised that the ATP clearly isn't doing anything about this, right? Because other than this $2,500 fine from Nole's last conversation on this subject, when a reporter asked this question, everyone blamed the reporter and said, you know, like, you're picking on him, you're being unfair. And every fucking time people got to bring Federer into this conversation. Stop. I don't know why y'all are putting Federer in Nole's mess.
Why was Federer even in that conversation? He's not even in the room.
Because apparently one time Federer hit a ball somewhere.
Not even in the continent. Federer is not even in the continent.
Hit a person.
I know, but people will reach for anything that they can get.
They're so weird. And you know what? Can I swear? It's like talking to Trumpers. Somebody mentioned something about a Trump and then they bring up Hillary. Why? Can't we talk about them two separately?
No.
You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for somebody on the court, one of the spectators, to sue the ATP and sue the tournament.
Well, at some point they will.
That's what y'all are waiting for.
At some point.
Because what is clear from Nole's last conversation on this subject was that the ATP isn't telling him anything and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He clearly thinks that he's okay, that he's doing nothing wrong. He's just expressing a little emotion and whatever the case may be. And what is driving me insane is that, Nole, I don't know why you're upset, because the match is clearly on your racket. Murray isn't doing anything to bother you. This is just all for show. If it's not all for show, boo-boo, you really need to see a shrink. You need to switch up your meds. Okay? Get it together, ATP. Talk to your boy. Tell him to calm the fuck down. Let him go see a shrink. Otherwise, he needs to go home. He needs to sit home. He's a liability to your program. This doesn't look cute. It doesn't look cute on TV.
Yeah.
No way, no how. It just doesn't. Doesn't. So y'all need to talk. I need to talk to Murray too, because Murray's behavior is not cute as well. But and let us not forget that Murray struck a ball at an umpire last year.
Well, listen, both of them.
And he got one for
the funny thing is, I think it's so interesting, right? You've got 1 and 2. I mean, this is an aside. Like, you've got number 1 and number 2 players in the world, both brats, really, and yet they don't make the game more interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, normally, you have 2 people who you could say they've got such personality, they've got such interesting things, and they bring fire to the court and all that stuff. And yet the way they do it doesn't translate into something interesting. Isn't that weird? Because that's what ATP says, right? They say like, oh, we want fire. We want this thing. And people's like, why are you always complaining about this? Because they're just showing you their personality. But in the end, it just ends up coming across as whiny. I want it to be better. I want it to be more interesting, but it isn't, you know?
Right.
So sadly, that's it. But it's been you know what? It's been, I feel like for 1st of January week, it's been an eventful week. I don't know what this means for the entire year. I'm hoping we have a good year. Can we just please knock on wood and say we have a good 2017?
Well, you know what? It's got to be better than last year. I mean, it just has to be.
And we haven't even talked about the most important thing for us as fans of a particular player, which is the return of Federer and what that was like.
Federer's
finally some real news, some real interesting news. And you had to wait that long. You know, we had to.
I mean, we had to give everybody else their due.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, Federer is back. And I have to say, just like everyone else, I'm happy. It was enjoyable watching him. You know, just interesting news. Just you know what I mean? I mean,
it was interesting tennis.
There was
nice tennis. Like I missed his brand of tennis. I was like, I know people hate it, and we're fans of Federer, so we're probably gonna get slammed for it. But he just plays tennis differently than every single other person.
You know what?
It's just
refreshing. I said this last year.
It was just nice.
I said this last year. When Federer was absent from the World Tour final, it was classless. It was just haphazard. It was just funky. We're doing the draw show in our bedrooms. You know, when we just click that X2 page, you know, whatever. Just messy. But when you have Federer into it, it just raises the class, the brand. It just his mere presence. I mean, Federer could have pulled out to the fourth match, and then the Hartman couple would have still been a success. It's just his mere presence just brought everything, the value. The ladies enjoyed themselves. They were tweeting about being around Federer. Bencic looked the happiest we've ever seen her on court, ever. It was just an exhibition. So,
well, you had a journalist, and I don't remember exactly who it was, say that it was nice to actually talk to an intelligent player.
And then he tried to clean it up. But what he said, and I mean, like, I think a lot of people gave him a lot of slack. But what he and Federer understands, I think he said, which is true, is that the reporter is there to do a job. So it's not your job to give monosyllable answers. They have to write copy. So try to come up with some copy for the reporter when they ask you a damn question.
Right.
And he's like, Federer understands it and appreciates that dynamic, which is like, if I ask you a question, try to give me full-bodied answers so that I write shit down. But I know how people took it.
I know how I took it. The tennis was great. And you know what? It was.
But nice honest to God, I've been in a room with Federer at a press conference several times, and it's completely different from anybody else's. It really is. It is like the master conductor comes in for the orchestra. You know, like when most press conferences would be just like, it's like the school band. It's like wah wah wah. But Federer comes in, he knows everyone, he knows what he wants to see. People are writing, you know, he just brings, and he does it in several different languages. So, I mean, come on now. You just, look, Federer is it's just what it is. I mean, I know, you know, the Nole fan and the Divadal fans gonna be mad, but, you know, it's just not the same. You know, it's just not the same. But onto the tennis. Who did they play for us? They played England, yes. For us. Dan Evans, you know, Federer's probably looking, oh my God, another Marcus Willis. Oh, good Jesus. I gotta keep this, you know, keep Andreen happy and just keep it interesting for a little bit. And I think the more interesting match was the match against Zverev, which was I thought that
Zverev gave a lot to it.
Yeah, it was three tiebreaker set. Federer, don't know what the fuck you did in the first one. You got 1-1. Don't know what was happening. But it was solid tennis. Zverev looked pretty strong. I mean, I'm surprised. Excuse me, Federer withstood that barrage because Zverev was just hitting hard and hitting out. Like he was playing hard, and Federer, was trying to figure things out and whatever, and that's what I noticed. He was taking his time. Of course, Federer, he wasn't getting up to the serve. He was making a lot of errors on the serve, not a lot of force serves in, as he wanted to. The reaction time is a little bit slower, you know what I mean? He's a little bit out of position, but he's 35, going to be 36 this year. So I don't know if I could be mad, you know what I mean? I want Federer to be Federer of 2006, but you know what? This is 2017.
Yeah, but for someone who hasn't played a match in nearly 7 months, he looked good.
Yeah, he looked pretty solid. I don't know.
I'm not afraid of what 2017 brings.
No, because I think even if he doesn't, I imagine that he will get better and better as the year goes on.
Exactly.
That's my sense of it. If he's able to be fine, I think this is going to be a good time for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I agree.
I mean, yeah, I'm hopeful because...
Do you realize what can happen at the Australian Open, though, given his seeding?
Well, listen.
Him and Rafa both.
Yeah, early round seeding, which means that we will have eliminated any star power in week 1 for either of them, which that will be a real drag.
Depending on where Roger and Rafa fall in the draw, they could face each other.
I know.
In week 1, or either one of them will face Andy or Nole in week 1.
Ugh.
That tournament is not happy about that.
I know.
Well, they'll just have to deal with it, you know what? And also have to deal with the fact that somebody might go home molding. It might not be Roger Federer. Hey.
This is true. You know what? This is
last year, Rafa went out in the first round. Year before, Roger went out in the second round, right? Or the third round, I think it was, right? So, hey, anything can happen.
I saw a fun Federer tweet. A really fun one from 40 Deuce. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Oh yeah, about how he smells.
She said, my fave Fed is the unshaven Fed because he legit looks like he smells like the most expensive scotch. But even better was Andrea Petkovic responded, he does.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Even the ladies were enjoying Federer's presence.
He just brings something. He just brings something. I mean, seriously, when he and Belinda lost to Richard and Kiki, right? Mm-hmm. They interviewed the Swiss team before they interviewed the French team. And then the Swiss team leaves. And Kiki says, Roger, don't go yet. I would like a picture too. This is what she says to the audience. And then during the actual interview, she says, honestly, I'm a little bit sad that we beat them because I wanted to see Roger play more tennis. This is what this man, this is what he brings to the tour. Like, he has been missed by so many.
But also just the lightness of the room. The tennis has been, even though it was an EXO, every single encounter this year has felt heavy and weighty and just, ugh. That's actually what I want too. I just want more people on tour that brings lightness to the room. I know Federer does it,
laugh and funny, but I just, you know what I mean?
Something that's been missing on the tour. And so I'm hoping that one of the newbies even has that energy, has that lightness that translates well in their game. Because otherwise the rest is just heavy slug. And so we'll just, we'll see.
I'm ready. I am ready. I feel good about it. I feel like he looks good physically. He's moving well, given that he hasn't played. He's hitting the ball cleanly. I was nervous. I'm like, oh my God, what is he going to look like? Zverev was a tough ask, even though it was just an EXO. I think they played each other tough. It was a good match. Yeah, they played seriously. And, the Gasquet match was like, whoo, hello, Fed.
Yeah.
Look, Federer just like, hey, those Frenchies, you know what I mean? But you know what?
I think it was a good place for him to start.
I think so too. No major pressure. Guaranteed matches, at least 3 singles and multiple doubles. That was good. It's good,
But you know what? Andrine, remind me later on in the year when we discussed the French that, just say, Realz, you had a theory about the French. which you thought about in Hotman Cup.
Okay.
Let's discuss it there.
That'll be interesting.
Just,
Are we
yes.
finally gonna have a Frenchie come good? Because that's my hope. Oh, before okay. This is the start of the year. Let's end this with a couple of our wishes for the rest of the year in terms of winners of the Slam, and then not predictions, but just wishes, so that we can visit it at the end.
All right.
And see how far off we are.
Okay.
Wishes. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like it. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to prepare, but whatever.
I know. Spontaneous is me. Wow.
You know what? Okay.
Yes.
For myself, I wish for a brand new Grand Slam winner on both sides of the tour. I want somebody completely new because I'm bored. Or I want an old school favorite. I would love, come on. I always put Federer in finals and win and shit, and then he don't do it. So,
Which one would you really want him to win?
Okay. Sentimentally, I would love to see him win at Wimbledon again. Mm-hmm. But for pure fucking pleasure, I would love for him to win Australian Open. Oh, I would love for him to come back after all this time off and snatch Nole's fucking wig. I don't think we would ever.
I am much more. You know what?
I don't think we would ever live that down. That would.
You know what? You know what?
I
think what can top that. I'm just writing a coattail here, just a little add on to your little thing. How about you beat Rafa in the French final? Hey,
oh my God.
That's some.
The wall would explode. The wall would explode.
And you know what? I am wishing that Pliskova can quit fucking choking. I want her. I like her. She is going to be one of my new favorites. I need her to learn how to move better, and I need her to keep her mental focus because I think she can do some damage on this tour. And I'm just so ready for some fresh.
You're not with
Don't you me?
You take that wish.
We're wishing here. Nope. We're wishing.
Okay.
You wish. It's your turn to wish.
Oh, wish.
Okay. Oh,
dream big.
Y'all not gonna let me go last?
All right, I'll go second. Give you some time.
Okay.
So, you know what, Janina? I echo your sentimental faves. But my sentimental fave for the year would be for Venus to have one wonderful run. And you know what? I don't even need her to be at Wimbledon. I would love it if it happened on American soil because I would love to see Venus have a magical run at the U.S. Open and be like, peace out, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'd love for Venus to have a Pete Sampras moment.
Yeah,
because the injuries are starting to pile up, and I just don't know how much longer we're gonna have her. So I would love that, and
for her to say Black Lives Matter when she went home.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And
I wanted to say Rajiv Ram fucked up too, but you know what? I keep it simple. Just Black Lives Matter will be cool with me.
And I don't care who does it, but I would absolutely love a Frenchie to win the French Open. I would love a complete Frenchie surprise. Because I just think that tournament
singles. Let's be specific because these French be fucking up on doubles and mixed
but
doubles.
You know what it is because the thing about the French is it's before my favorite tournament, so I usually don't care. But if I can get a good ride from the French into Wimbledon, that's a really nice 3 weeks. So I would love a surprise winner.
You would be happy with any French.
Of course, my heart would be for Monfils, but if Gasquet did it, it would be wonderful for him.
God, I think if he wins the French, he's done.
He would. Why wouldn't he? He would pull a Panetta and just be like, Panetta out.
No. Yannick rode that 183 win.
Listen, yes. But for Gasquet to have a French moment, I can't even imagine what he would do with himself. And so
he'll come out of the closet.
Can't deal with you right now. No, he would go kiss a girl. Celebrate.
So I'm
That didn't work
adding
out to
two
him well
new.
last time he kissed the girl, did it?
I'm adding
just
two
saying.
new wishes in the world, so
All
that
right,
Janina is still up there. So go for yours now, Realz. What are your wish?
So I agree with some of the things you're saying, but excuse me, I would change around for Pliskova, hoping Salon gets well and she can get back on top and probably snatch a trophy somewhere, a solid trophy. Might not be for 2017, but 2018 Salon. Get yourself a major. I'm here for Roger number 18.
Oh my God!
Here for number 18.
Could we stop being trolled by 17? Oh, stuck there forever.
I don't care where it is. It could be New York. It could be in Australia. It could be in Paris, Wimbledon. Just 18. And just I suck at bitches. I'm bad. America, I'm coming home now. I bet you, America. You know what? I think America told Federer, the day you get 18, you gotta fucking done. And he's just prolonging this agony and just fucking up with it. I'm not getting to the finals. What I agree. Venus winning somewhere would be lovely and nice. I would think it would be cute if she wins the French, but that's too much to ask for.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That body would be done and over with. That body would be done. She would clutch that trophy on a stretcher. I'm telling you, it will be done and over. But what I would really love more than everything else is for we to treat Maria Sharapova like a fucking criminal that she is in 2017. I want to avoid any bullshit sentimental story. She's back and she was out in the wilderness and the ITF tried to fuck her over. I wish all of that, those lies and those mansplaining and whitesplaining would be dead and done and dusted in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And we write the proper press and we treat her the way she should be treated. And also, for Tommy Haas and his wife to just shut the fuck up. He ain't deserve no
Oh, shit. Okay.
But
your wishes.
You
Right?
He already got
your wishes.
Yeah, man.
God. This isn't Aladdin.
I'm trying to be very specific. I'm trying to put it out specifically in the universe because you know what? When we tried to be dilly-dally in 2016, we got garbage, right? We got rubbish more than we can handle. So let's be specific. So,
all
ladies, right. We are back.
And we are long-winded as always. So
as always.
But you know what? People love this and they missed us. Yes, people. Just like Federer, we are back.
Oh, yes. And I think you had wanted to make 2 announcements at the end of our podcasts. First of all, make sure if you're listening to this on iTunes, make sure you give us a good rating, y'all. Go on, give us a cheer. Tell people what you love or even hate about our podcast. I appreciate that as well.
You know we do. But come correct. Don't just say something stupid like you hate white people. Like that is just pointless and silly.
Yeah, we don't care about that. I mean, I love and hate.
Nole. I mean, come on now. That is true. Tell us something we don't know.
Oh my God.
I'm playing. Only Janina hates Nole.
And you know what? Thank you all for hanging with us in 2016.
Oh my God. Yes.
I hope 2017 brings us some fun surprises. I'm hoping I will be at Wimbledon in the second week. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get tickets, but we should be doing that from there. Certainly we expect Janina to be in Cincy again, so we're going to be on that road. I'm going to take a day in Indian Wells, maybe. So hopefully we're going to try to go out to some tournaments.
Yes, money provided and tennis God willing.
I'm going to try to fulfill the Soli tennis travels a little bit more this year.
All right. So also we are open for ideas of what you want from this podcast this year. So tweet us. Yeah, tweet us.
Yes.
That'll be the best.
Tweet us, DM us if you can. Comment section below. And please, those secret admirers, please. Don't be stealing our shit, okay? We don't want to see our podcast idea coming up in your next feature. It ain't cute. It's not okay. It's not okay.
All right, guys.
I'm going to start a call you 2017, okay?
And we will be back.
Don't be like Trump. You got to pay us for our ideas. Yes, we'll be back live. Oh, and let's not forget, coming up, not next week. Is it next week? Week after next? Wait, I think actual Drosha might be this Friday, isn't it?
I think it might be.
When is the Australian Open? The 16th?
I don't know. I
The
don't have my
Australian Open's
Tony
not on
calendar in front of me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm looking at my Tony calendar right now.
I don't even need the Tony calendar. I downloaded a wonderful calendar on my phone, and it has all of the tournaments and when they're starting, and it's magical. Magical. Well, the Australian Open begins on the 16th, so the next show that we have will most likely be the draw show, which will be next week.
All right. It'll be live.
The Australian Open start next week, Sunday the 15th.
Yep.
So people, you're gonna hear us live on Friday.
At some point.
On Saturday.
Yeah, let's figure out how that orientation is going to work with the Australian Open. It's either going to be Friday or Saturday. We'll tell you.
Because it's that Sunday night on Eastern Seaboard.
Okay. The draw's Friday. We'll figure it out. It will be fun.
Yes.
All right, guys.
So thank you for listening to us. Have a wonderful 2017. And thank you very much. Good night.
Good night,
and good day.
Bye-bye.
Comment below, people. Comment and share and tweet us all the time, okay? Tell us you love us always, because we love you. Thank you.